Welcome back. The long and seemingly unending journey of Fargo Season 4 finally subsides. My faith restored in humanity because I don't have to watch this show ever again. I feel like this was the series finale instead of the season finale. Episode 11, Storia Americana. The shortest of all the episodes, which is incredibly surprising because, as you know, most of the season finales are what? Way longer.
Yeah, way longer.
All right. Why don't you give us your immediate impressions of this episode? I believe at the end of this episode, we'll get into our sort of a brief summation of the season in total. But please, this episode first.
For me, it was just completely unsatisfying. The whole season on a whole was just a giant missed opportunity. They really did waste a lot of really talented actors. So reflecting on the finale, it's just like, yeah, I mean, it was going to be unsatisfying.
Not only incredibly unsatisfying, but essentially nothing was accomplished in this entire season. Not one thing. Everything that happened became undone in this episode and in, the last couple previous ones. We'll get into more details briefly.
Also, you brought up the length of the episode, and once it was over, it's 39 minutes long, and that's including the credits and everything. The last episode, 51 minutes long. So you very easily could have taken this episode and the last episode, put them together. It would have been an hour and a half long. That's not out of the norm for a season finale. It's been done before.
Or even the show. The first episode, wasn't it an hour and a half?
Like at least an hour and 11 minutes.
Yeah.
First couple episodes each. It was just completely pointless to me to separate these episodes. Now, there is one reason that deals with the nurse, but still, it's frustrating. It's just like, I was like, wow, I waited a week for a half an hour epilogue, basically. Like, are you fucking kidding me? How did you feel about that?
I feel about the same about that. It's like the shortest you can get away with an hour block TV show is 42 minutes, roughly. This show said, fuck it, we've done enough. Let's just cut 4 minutes.
It's a rough one, so I guess we should just start with the beginning of the episode, which pisses you off even more because you get to look at all the interesting characters that they killed off.
Did they do that for any of the other seasons? Like a look at the Fallen?
I don't remember any in memoriam segments in the final episode.
That's what helps me to think that this may be the last season.
Maybe. I mean, it does tie into season 2 and stuff. It could be bookend. Obviously, if I've said before, the ratings haven't been that good for this season.
Have you checked any critical responses besides ours?
Not really. I've seen a few people say that they think this season's really good. I didn't really pay attention too much. I'm just going to assume that a lot of people like it because I don't.
It's usually the way it goes, man.
I'm gonna assume that this is just being like given heaps of praise.
It's such great representation of people of color. Gangsters, murderers, racketeers.
I'm sure they're saying it's some profound message about America.
They tried that with Ethelrita's closing monologue, and it was like a fart in the fucking field for me.
But it's just like, what is like the message about America? What is it here? Like, what are you really trying to say, Noah Hawley? Like, is it just, okay, black people had no opportunity in the 50s? Like, yeah, we get it.
Yeah.
It's like,
it might be, the only thing I come away from this season is when Ebel, the Italian consigliere from New York, he's talking about how you get to keep half. You are, how do they say, big fish, small pond. We are the sea. I mean, yeah, the mob was really big in the 50s. I don't really see the point.
Yeah, I mean, they lasted for probably till like the early 80s. I guess when probably Gotti.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah, before that everything kind of went crumbling down. So they had 30 some odd years.
Underworld dominance.
I don't know. I really didn't get anything out of this season at all. I look at it and I'm like, okay, yeah, you had some nice cinematography, but I don't really think you said anything profound. I don't know. I mean, have you gotten anything out of it?
No, like I said before, everything that happened to the show was undone. So it all comes across as pointless to me.
I was wondering because the episode starts like with the in memoriam thing, and it's got a Johnny Cash song, which is "What Is Man,"
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, okay, what are you saying here with this old Johnny Cash song? Is this just because you like Johnny Cash? Are you trying to say something here?
I think it's a bit of both. Like anytime you throw Johnny Cash as an old man on, it's sort of depressing, sort of melancholy, you know?
Like reflective or something. So
Yeah. After that in memoriam section, I got real excited. Do you know why? Josto finally became unchained. I'm like, yes, we're finally going to get the main cast
Unchained.
shooting, killing. But obviously,
No.
knowing this season, the very next time we see him, he is issued a death sentence of sorts.
Yeah, well, I guess we should get into him just randomly just like grabbing Dr. Harvard and his father-in-law and just killing them in the back seat of the car. Like,
Hey, Dr. Fucko, you remember me?
yeah, it's like, okay, wait, so you poisoned Dr. Harvard, right?
Mm-hmm.
He recovers from it. And then randomly we're just gonna have one scene of him saying, "Oh yeah, the nurse, she was a killer," and then immediately, oh, he's just getting Billy Club out fucking side, and then he's dead. Like that was the point. Like, why not just have?
I thought it was leading to like an epic showdown. Josto's lost it. He's going nuts. He's killing everybody. He's going straight to the hotel where Chris Rock is staying. Oh, he just goes home and gets drunk, passes out at his
Yeah.
desk.
With his like father-in-law, who was gonna be his father-in-law. What was the point of that? And the politics and everything. It's never really brought up. Like, there's no grand scheme of
The only way it
politics.
would have worked is what you brought up when you first brought it up, is if he makes a play for office or he ends up in office or something. Josto, that is.
Right, at the end. He gets kicked out of the mob or something like that. He says, fuck it. And the guy gets elected. He gets married to the girl, and he's just in office or something.
Yeah. I got to commend you. You were right about New York coming in and taking over, with seemingly nothing to suggest it, though.
Yeah, I had a feeling about that. And also I was confused because we see Josto with a Tommy gun after those two are dead in the back of his car. And I'm just like, oh, okay, he's going to get the Tommy gun. Like you said, we're going to see a bit of fireworks. No, we're not going to get any of that.
Dead the next scene. You full-blooded Italian piece of shit.
Yeah, that was another just weird line. I was like, wait, what? It's funny that the last episode, the way it ends, is Orietta getting arrested, right? And we're like, oh, that was anticlimactic. And then immediately at this episode, oh, you're bailed out. Like, wait, what the fuck?
She's accused of, well, as of now, she's accused of attempted murder, but then again, wouldn't they have found all her little trinkets and obituary pages?
Yeah, it doesn't really add up. I mean, back then, the bail system and everything, I'm sure, was very different. But I guess that's the reason why they split these two episodes up, because if you have those immediately together, oh, okay, she just got arrested, and then immediately the next scene, oh, you're bailed out, honey. It's like, I don't know if that would have flowed completely organically.
She's a quirky character, but even in the face of death, she's still acting, I don't know, like her same quirky self. You know what I mean? Shoot him first. I want to see him die.
Yeah, I did like that, though. I thought that was fucking hilarious. He just turns out, what? Just gets shot in the head. I love that. It brings up the whole zombie thing, which we brought up last episode. Would there be any payoff for it? There isn't.
Surprise, surprise.
You see the zombie in the reflection of the car behind her when she's about to get shot in the head, but it's like, oh, okay, like, what was the point of even bringing up the backstory on this zombie, because it had nothing to do or really tie into
with the story at all, or even anything exciting.
Family. Yeah,
I was excited because at the end we have Chris Rock just standing staring through a window. I was like, oh, fuck yeah, that zombie's going to come back and haunt him or kill him or something. But we see him once in the car. He's gone. He's done.
Yeah, it's so strange to me that is the payoff, because it's just like, there's just nothing to it. I mean, they might as well have not had it in the season at all. It was totally pointless.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing to it.
Yeah, it looks interesting. It could be a cool idea, but you don't do anything with it. I don't care.
Yeah. And even Satchel reuniting his family, it was just like,
Oh, okay.
I just don't care. And it was so awkward when Chris Rock is going through the house and walking up there and with the gun, and his reaction to seeing his son. It was just like, oh my God, like Chris Rock, you are so bad at the show.
It's like what's that story? The Three Bears. He comes in, he sees some cereal on the table, then he sees his hat, then he sees his shoes. I mean, it could work, but it doesn't. It falls short. It's like I said earlier, a fart in a field.
Fart in the wind. Yeah, Chris Rock, just kind of a mess in this show. Even when, you brought up before Abel, the guy who ends up taking over the Italian side.
Mm-hmm.
That scene where Chris Rock and him are talking, and
We made a deal!
it's so awkward. It just doesn't. You gave me a word in the park.
Calm down. I was thinking that too. Calm down, Chris.
Calm down, Chris. And he's like, you work for us now. It felt very cliche.
This 39-minute episode, at minute 22, everything has been resolved except for one thing that, we both saw coming. We have Josto's dead, the war's over, Satchel's home, the Smutneys get their mortuary back. What else is there to do? That's what I was thinking at the 22-minute mark.
Like, what do we have to do here? Like, did you catch the Untouchables reference in this episode?
What was it this time?
It was when Chris Rock's crew goes into the diner and kills Happy's whole crew. He's got a gun inside.
Box of flowers, yeah. Well, I don't know if that's exactly an Untouchables reference. It's happened in other movies before,
Well, I mean, there's a shotgun and a box full of roses that a guy pulls out in the Untouchables, blows somebody away with. So, I mean, that seems pretty close.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. Considering all the other stuff together, it's what else could it be?
Yeah. And I will say I did call, and I think it was kind of obvious, though, but the ant killing Chris Rock.
That was my favorite scene. As she was standing by the window, I'm like, just shoot yourself in the head. Just shoot yourself in the head. Kill yourself. Kill yourself. Then the aunt took care of it for me.
Right. This season is just, there's no subtlety at all. Like the fact that he was stabbed in the back with a knife. Yeah. We're so on the nose here, especially when he's brought up, your word is everything. He broke his word to her. Then he's screaming at the Italian family, I gave you my word. We made a deal. You didn't honor it.
Motherfucker, you don't honor your word.
Right, exactly. And it goes back to the conversation with Daffy in the house about, loyalty and everything. So it's really on the nose. And just Chris Rock's death was like
hilarious.
It was embarrassing.
His face, as Satchel's looking to him, it still makes me laugh. Oh my God. Go to acting school, buddy.
Yeah. He had his hand on fucking Satchel's face. It was just, oh my God. Looked like he was trying to pass a kidney stone. Like, what the fuck?
God, I hope there's stills available for me to use in this video.
It was really bad. Then we get the Ethelrita narration, which I called too. I said, we started the show with her narration. We'll end with that. We get that. So, yeah.
The biggest problem with this season, which I've brought up before, there's way, way too many recurring characters. We spend 2 minutes with Ethelrita in this episode. We spend like 4 minutes with Josto. And then we spend like 15 minutes with Chris Rock and his different dealings. You're spreading everything too thin. And you're not even doing a good job of it.
It just wasn't very focused. And we've brought this up before. For a season that was so long, there really wasn't even that much character development, really. I mean,
Who exactly developed? I mean, Ethelrita was a strong, independent woman from the beginning, and she ends up that way. Orietta meets her demise. I'm really struggling for somebody who developed. I mean, maybe Chris Rock's son because he fell in love with Ethelrita or whatever their fucking arc was.
He's playing the trumpet at the end. It's like okay, all right. It's like I don't know you. I don't even care about you. You say to Ethelrita like, "Oh, you're really something special" or whatever he fucking said.
Yes, she is.
It's like give me a break. Give me a fucking break. I guess the only thing to really talk about in the episode would be Mike Milligan, which we kind of knew very, very early on. We kind of brought that up. I did like that kind of stinger at the end. It made me go, okay, yeah, season 2 is a lot better than this fucking shit.
Yeah.
And Bokeem Woodbine, where were you in this show? You know, he didn't even say one fucking word, and I was like, wow, there's more screen presence in this scene than Chris Rock had in the whole fucking season.
Just depressing. It really hurts when something you really enjoy just, I don't want to say they do everything wrong, but they do enough wrong where you're like, just put this dog into the gas chamber.
Yeah. I mean, the reason why it's so disappointing is because we've seen the show be really good, and we know Noah Hawley is talented. And when you take into the fact of how bad TV is in general, obviously, like, compared to regular TV, this season was, like, masterful. You know? Compared to most television.
Yeah, but comparing it to the upper echelon TV, it's at the bottom of the grading curve.
Absolutely. And that's what's so frustrating is because, you know, we have expectations. We've seen quality, and I don't know. I think well, we'll get into Noah Hawley probably at the end. Do you have anything else about the episode that you want to bring up at all?
I'm just happy it's all over. Oh, yeah, one more thing. I'm sorry. They have no reason to believe the nurse over Josto. They just wanted Josto out. That's really all. Anything else I can add?
Yeah, I mean, we brought up last episode with the ring. We're like, okay, which I did bring up in the first episode about him saying to the nurse, you need to take care of my dad. I was just like, that really stuck out to me. And sure enough, they did use that at the end of the season.
Yeah, but in context or even out of context, how does that translate to, okay, kill my dad for me?
Right. Yeah, I mean, they basically say, oh, you killed your dad, you killed your brother. The business isn't a family business anymore. The times are changing, which I guess ties into the future is now billboard, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
I guess that's kind of a tie into that. Times are changing. Yeah, just very disappointing season. And honestly, like, I don't really want them to end Fargo. I'm going to be honest, even though this season was so bad, I don't want them to end it on this note. I mean, is it possible for them to make a season really, truly worse than this?
I was saying that after season 3, much like you probably were.
Yeah. Do you want him to do another season, or do you want Noah Hawley to just do something completely new?
I'd like him to do another season, but I'd like him to do another good season.
Yeah, and I think he really needs to go back to trained actors. Let's not try to pull some random people out of the woodwork here.
Well, yeah, you bring that up. I forgot about it. I believe Orietta is some kind of an indie singer, and I know that the Smutny father is some, indie alternative guy. I mean, they didn't do bad, but they...
No.
When you see Chris Rock, it hammers it home, man. Just cast actors.
Yeah, the first couple episodes, I didn't mind Chris Rock, but man, it was just like complete fucking free fall after that. It was like just
anytime that he wasn't reserved or stoic, it was terrible.
Yeah, it was very bad. And this episode really, really solidified that. And I don't think he'll be getting any dramatic roles in the near future.
I hope not, but I mean, shit, man, how many shitty actors are still out there working?
Well, he has that new Saw reboot that he's doing. So
he's doing it? He's the lead?
Yeah, he's the lead, and he wrote it, and I guess Sam Jackson has And apparently it's apparently it's not a comedy either, dude.
I mean, the Saw movies, I mean, the first one, it was good for what it was, but after that, they're all terrible. God only knows what happens when Chris Rock gets his paws in that pie.
Yeah, it's called like Spiral, the Book of Saw. So I definitely will be seeing that movie.
I make no guarantees. On my end, I make no guarantees.
We might have to do that one for the show. No, but yeah, I this so can't get over Saw, huh?
No.
You should. I think there might even be a trailer too. So, like a teaser trailer or something. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping it'll be just like an amazing unintentional comedy.
One can hope, but you never know.
They play it just straight as a razor and just like it's fucking hysterical. But yeah, I don't want Fargo to end like this. I don't want it to be the shitty end. I don't know what they're gonna do because the first season's in modern day, second season's in the 70s, third season's in the 90s, and this season's in the 50s. So I'm tired of the 80s nostalgia, and I don't really want to see this show in the 80s. But I mean, is that where it's going if they do another season? What do you think?
I don't know. I was thinking, I was going to ask you, but there's no way of knowing or of guessing it. I was going to ask you, because each season they have sort of characters or places that interlock with one another. Here we have Mike Milligan as a boy. We have the foundations of the Kansas City Syndicate as it is in the 70s. I mean, maybe a Lorne Malvo origin story. That might be kind of interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows?
Like you, I don't want it to end, but at the same time, it's gotten worse each season. And it's like, I have no reason to suspect that the trend will end.
Yeah, it makes me think of something that Vince Gilligan brought up years ago when he was going into the last season of Breaking Bad. People were asking him, like, why are you ending it? It's so good. Why? Why are you ending it? He said, I don't want people to say, oh, that show's still on. He said, I have an ending. I want to end it. I don't want people to say, oh, my God, that show used to be good. Is that show still on, you know?
Did you ever hear, did Vince Gilligan have it all planned out from the beginning, or was he sort of, not all of it planned out, but, basic story structure, or was it sort of more from the seat of his pants?
He didn't have everything completely planned out because, remember, he wanted to kill Jesse in the first season.
Yeah.
And so that changed a lot of things. I mean, he had a really good writer's room. And I don't think everything was 100%, but I think he did have a clear idea of,
just at least just Walt's arc. You have that story down, and then you build everything else off of that. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. With Noah, you're only dealing with one season. You just got to tell a story in 10 episodes. Like, you've got so much time to tell a cohesive story. And I think one of the biggest problems with television, and I'm wondering what your thoughts on this, because we brought up there's just way too many characters. A lot of shows, they have so many characters. They want to go on these side character tangents. Like, can't you make a show about a couple people that's 10 episodes? Like, do you really need to have so many characters?
Nah. You can do it, but it's a lot harder because
right
here, especially with this season, here's like the 2 or 3 people that I care about that I actually want to see their story. And then, we're going to go see what Antoon, the guy who we met this episode, is doing.
Yeah.
And like, especially with this season, like the Smutneys, I couldn't care less.
Yeah, I mean, the father just disappears from the show completely.
He's in like 3 episodes, maybe.
Yeah, once he brings that money back to Chris Rock and he comes back to the house. You never see him again until this like last episode.
It's just when they give the keys back to him, and that's it.
Yeah.
I kind of liked him. I thought he did well. I would have
Yeah.
liked to have seen him more.
Yeah, I liked him a lot. I thought he was good. I wish they did more with him, but hey, that's this fucking season in a nutshell.
You don't get what you want. Is there anything else? The series, television, or your ambitions as a whole?
I mean, the only thing I could say is thank you to everyone who listened to us go through the episodes. Hopefully you got something from this.
Because we certainly didn't.
And hopefully, you enjoyed commiserating with us after each episode. You want to see us do anything like this again in the future, let us know.
And like and subscribe. That'll really show us. Next TV talking, we'll do Full House, the entire series.
Charles, you can trust me, I swear. No, I don't care if you swear on your mother's life. My mother is not alive. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, God. And, yeah, Fuller House, too, the reboot.
Ugh.
Oh, boy.
All right, gang. Like you said, thanks a lot. Like and subscribe, like I just said moments ago. Burn down your local state houses and have a lovely evening.